Hey everyone, and welcome to yoga practice. So today's practice is really intended to be followed without the use of the screen. So simply finding a lot of connection to yourself just by the connection to yourself alone, and maybe by the guidance of a few words and the music. The practice will be divided in two parts roughly. So the first half of the practice being in a supine position, very few, very slow movements. And then in the second part of the practice, we will go more into a regular routine of practice. So if you feel ready to begin, please find your comfortable Shavasana. And we will begin actually in silence and connection to ourselves for the first 5 minutes now. So any adjustments you'd like to make? Any props you'd maybe like to use? And any positions of the feet, of the hands you would like. You can of course choose the classic variation of Shavasana, flat shoulders on the floor, arms outstretched, palms point to the ceiling. What I like to do is to connect with my hands to my body, so one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest, roughly on the heart. And then just settling in, finding connection, maybe finding a focus point, choosing for a point in your body, choosing for the breath. Simply being here, arriving, connecting. Okay, and then very, very slowly we will invite the first movement here into the practice. So as slowly as possible, I want to start to turn my head here to one side, but it's really millimeters at once that the back of the head turns on the ground, bit by bit. Maybe even sometimes not really noticing whether the head turns if there is movement or a moment of stillness. Just gradually, slowly turning to one side. And once you come to an edge here, just maybe resting for a moment. Before ever so slowly journeying back to the center. And again, once in the center, maybe just a moment of resting. And as slowly or even slower turning to the other side. And once I come to my edge here on this side, maybe just resting for a moment. Before journeying back to center, slowly, ever so slowly. Okay, and then in order for us to have really the time we individually need for this process, we take about another 4 to 5 minutes to repeat the sides, either very, very slowly on each side or a couple of times per side. So starting now again with the first side on your own and going through the process for about 4 minutes. Good. And lying here in a centralized position, we can then just take a minute or so to scan through the body, going through all the spots the body touches the floor. Noticing the expansion of the belly, maybe breathing in, and the retraction of the belly, breathing out. Just sensing a very gentle awareness in all parts of our body. In our connection to the air and the earth around our body. And then we can Just very gently start with some movement, very little movements again, maybe the toes first. Toes and feet and fingers and hands. Stretching very lightly. Simply a few movements that feel good here. Slowly but steadily coming with the feet on the mat. So just the feet walk up, so the lower back relaxes. Coming into this slightly adjusted supine position. Lower back now pretty flat on the floor. Feet on the floor. Knees can fall together or just as they are. Slight little adjustments here just to finding comfort in this position. Breathing, noticing the breath. And for about a minute or so, just either staying here stationary or inviting once again very, very small microscopic movements of the lumbar spine. So just an arching and rounding, very similar to the cat and cow movement, but in this supine position and very, very small. And then any kind of side twist that you like, either with the legs over each other or just the knees falling to one side. And as an addition, the head can point to the other side. We know this one out of the regular practice. Ideally with the shoulders flat on the floor, just twisting through the spine. Simply finding restfulness, relaxation here. Breathing, noticing the belly lifting and falling. And in your own time, at some point coming back to a central position. centralizing. A moment of reflection on this first twist. And then we can choose the opposite side. So getting ready for the twist on the other side. And again, knees fall to one side, the head can tilt to the other. Shoulders ideally flat on the floor. And this side might feel different, but again, just finding relaxation, a certain restfulness here, breathing. Okay, and then getting ready to coming out of the pose. Just slowly coming back to center, centralizing, feet parallel, just taking a moment, grounding, feeling, breathing. Then we can take the knees into the chest, so just putting the hands on the knees, one hand per knee. And then again, taking the movement and combining it here with the breath. So pulling the knees into the chest on exhale and releasing on inhale. Pulling the knees into the chest on exhale and releasing on inhale. A few times in your own rhythm. Good, and then we can come just to the side with the knees quite close to the chest, just rolling over to one side and coming to a restful position here. Maybe deepening the breathing, connecting more and more. We will take about 3 minutes here, so a good idea getting comfortable, just checking through the body as relaxed as possible, just relaxing the legs, feet, finding a good position for the arms and hands. the knees quite close to the chest, head relaxed, simply breathing, resting. Good. Let's then transition into a child's position. You can take some time here to find this transition. So a child's position either with the knees quite close together or open knees. Hands either in front of you or at the sides. Finding a very comfortable child's pose, staying here for about 2 minutes. And now we want to come from here into cow position. So just the hands on the floor, flowing forwards, lower back arch, lifting the head. Inhale. And on exhalation into cat position, lower back rounds. Just this cat pose. On inhale, transitioning into cow pose. In your own tempo, of course. Arching the lower back in cow pose. And on exhale, transitioning into cat pose. Rounding the lower back, stretching through the spine. Inhale, transitioning to cow pose. A few more times. Exhale. And inhale. Finding your rhythm, long and even durations of the breath. Just linking the movement and the breath. And next exhalation, toes on the ground and downward facing dog. Knees bent a lot, so very simple first downward facing dog. Inhaling back to the knees into cow position, arching the lower back. And exhalation to downward facing dog. Inhalation into cow position. And exhalation, downward facing dog. And on inhalation, knees to the ground and into cow position. On exhalation, now back to downward facing dog and staying here in downward facing dog. Chin tucked in. On inhale, chest lifts to the chin. And exhalation, bandha, sucking the belly in and up. Inhaling, lifting the chest. Exhale, belly. Deep ujjayi breath, inhaling, lifting the chest. And exhaling, belly, maybe stretching, walking through the feet, whatever you feel good with here. And then on the next inhalation, knees can come down and inhale into the cow position. Exhale from here back into child's position for a short moment of rest. And then getting ready for the next more dynamic set. Whenever you're ready, on inhalation, the arms bring us up, straight arms up on the knees, standing on the knees, chin tucked in. And on exhale, we go back to child's pose. On inhale, from here into Cobra position, flowing forward. First Cobra, exhale to stay here, engaging the belly. And inhale to lift through the chest, staying in Cobra, lifting the chest. And on exhale, back into child's pose. From here, inhale, straight arms up again, straight up, standing up. And on exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale from here forward into Cobra position. Lifting the chest. Exhale to stay, just engaging the belly. And inhale to lift, not using the arms necessarily, just lifting the chest, the breast. Exhale, back into child's pose. All the way. From here, inhaling, straight arms up. Chin tucked in. Exhale, back down to child's pose. Inhale forward into Cobra. Exhale to stay belly. And inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale up, straight arms bring us up. Exhale down, child's pose. Good, one last time, forwards on inhale into Cobra position. Inhale, inhale, inhale. On exhale, staying here, engaging the belly. And inhale, lifting the chest. Good, exhale, pushing back into child's pose. Inhale, straight arms up one last time. And on exhale, just from here, the hands touch and come down to the heart center, prayer position. Resting breath. Okay, and then we can transition from here into a supine position. So just turning around, coming to lying down on the back. And we can then once again take the knees, one hand on one knee. Just getting adjusted to this newfound position for a moment. And then first off, we want to prepare for shoulder bridge, which in itself prepares us for shoulder stand. So the first sequence, most of you guys know this, is lifting the legs, the feet to the roof and the arms overhead simultaneously. So let's do this together. Inhalation straight, legs, feet to the roof, hands, arms overhead. On exhale, back to holding the knees, taking the knees into the chest. Inhale, feet up, arms overhead. Exhale, back. Holding the knees, taking the knees into the chest. Inhale, up. And again, exhale, back down, taking the knees, holding the knees, taking them into the chest. And on inhale, then we can put the feet down and shoulder bridge, lifting the hips. Exhale, back it down, holding the knees, pulling the knees into the chest. And again, inhale, feet to the ground, lifting the hips up, arms overhead. Shoulder bridge, chin tucked in. Exhale, back, down. Okay, a few rounds here. Inhalation, shoulder bridge. Exhalation, back it down, holding the knees. Inhalation, shoulder bridge. And exhalation, back down, holding the knees. And on your next inhalation, we can come up to staying up. So staying in shoulder bridge here. Breathing, Ujjayi breath, engaging Bandha. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Okay, just maybe 1 or 2 more breaths. And whenever you're ready, coming down on exhalation, holding the knees. Resting here for a moment. And assessing with yourself whether today you want to do a shoulder stand, so a very strong inversion, or rather continue with the shoulder bridge. So shoulder stand, as we hopefully know now, is not recommended on the menstrual cycle. Also not, of course, when there is shoulder pain or strong neck pain. But otherwise we can get ready to push up on the exhalation into our shoulder stand, where we have the weight on the shoulders and the elbows. So creating a tripod, checking that the neck is free. The back, so the mid back and lower back pretty straight, supported by the hands. Feet point upwards towards the ceiling. Your variation, your best version of shoulder stand today, if you should practice it. And then you can invite movement on exhalation with the knees down to the nose. Just inhalation, straight legs up, and exhalation, knees come down to the head. Inhalation, straight legs up, and exhalation, knees down to the head. Just a few times if that feels right. You can also do single legs, so one side coming down, knee to ear. On inhale, back up, and on exhale, the other side, knee to ear, and on inhale, straight leg up. A few times alternating. See what's really suitable for you here. Of course, one other variation would be doing straight legs. Engaging Ujjayi breath, engaging Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha. So each exhalation really working with the belly and the perineal muscles. So a few more times, and whenever you're ready, we can come out, just rolling down, this time on the inhalation, holding the knees, and we will take a longer rest after the inversion. Okay, good. And then we can come up to a seated position. We will finish up today's practice with a couple of twists. So we're just getting ready. You probably know this one from regular practice. Just one foot over one knee, taking the opposite arm and linking it against the knee of the standing leg and twisting around, looking up diagonally. Really loosening the twists on each inhalation and deepening the twist on the exhalation. Inhalation, loosening the twist. And on exhalation, deepening the twist. Again, inhalation, loosening. Really making it a movement, exhalation, deepening. Okay, one more time, and then we can change sides. So just the other leg, foot over the knees of the leg underneath, and then twisting the arm around on the outside of the knee of the standing leg, and twisting on exhale. Releasing on inhale. 3 to 4 rounds of breath here. Okay, and then we can come out of the twist and just really sit for a moment. So a couple of options, just because I feel it's such a great idea to just end this practice seated. So you could remain in the position that you're in now, if that is comfortable. Or what I like to do is to stack the knees. Of course, then it would be recommended to change in the half time of your time seated. Or just find any other cross-legged or kneeling seat of your comfort. Just to be here, resting and integrating the practice. Thank you so very much for joining me for today's practice. Please, of course, take your time to either remain seated, maybe finding a forward fold of your choice, just taking it easy, and starting or ending the day wish you all the best and see you real soon.